Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to today's closing Gong ceremony to commemorate the listing of 91 million ordinary shares of Ronchess Global Resources PLC on the Growth Board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited. This event marks a significant milestone post-mutualization as an inaugural listing on the standard segment of the Growth Board. The exchange is quite optimistic that this listing will spur activities on the Growth Board as we continue to encourage businesses to list their securities in our markets and investors to deploy capital across our various financial products. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management and staff of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, as well as the entire capital market community, I congratulate the board and management of Ronchess for the successful listing by introduction. We recognize the major roles played by all the professional parties to this transaction: Signature Advisory Limited, the institutional service provider; FSTH Capital Limited, the broker to the transaction; and Main Street Capital Limited, the financial advisor, amongst others, for their hard work and dedicated efforts towards the actualization of a successful listing. Today's new entrant to NGX, Ronchess, is a leading provider of traffic solutions, construction, and procurement services in Nigeria, with a large client base cutting across corporates and MDAs. This listing signals the importance of the Growth Board and reinforces NGX's commitment to supporting issuers in achieving their strategic objectives. The Growth Board is designed to encourage growth-oriented companies to leverage the capital markets in raising long-term capital, stimulate growth, and promote liquidity. The board targets fast growth companies such as Ronchess, who have demonstrated the appetite to enhance their attractiveness in the global market, and connects them with an extensive pool of both local and international investors. The NGX is pleased to be a part of this exciting moment in the story of Ronchess, and we assure the company's leadership that in achieving your strategic business objectives, NGX remains your trusted business partner. This year, the NGX All-Share Index has continued to be resilient in the face of major macroeconomic shocks, including increased insecurity and foreign exchange volatility, amongst others. In spite of these, at NGX, we have continued to play our role as a capital aggregator, connecting investors with opportunities across sectors, including in infrastructure through companies such as Ronchess. In the course of the year, our support for capital raising has continued, with NGX facilitating the financing of over 5 trillion naira in capital raised by governments and corporates. Whilst embracing our role in capital market development, we continue to actively engage key stakeholders, including the government, policymakers, and intermediaries on opportunities to develop the capital market and the provision of thought leadership to aid the ease of doing business in our nation. These engagements support NGX's advocacy efforts in ensuring a positive impact on the private sector and, more importantly, quoted companies. We invite our stakeholders to take advantage of NGX current product offerings and to anticipate in the very near future new products and technology-related solutions to enhance the ease of access to our market and deepen capital market activities. We encourage Ronchess to fully utilize the products and services of the exchange and to continue to adhere to the highest standards of corporate governance, as this would enhance sustainability whilst delivering return to shareholders. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to now invite the MD CEO, Ronchess Global Resources PLC, Mr. Jackson Okwevo, to make a few remarks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for having me and my team and the entire Ronchess and the board of Ronchess as well. Thank you so much. First and foremost, with great gratitude to God and on behalf of the board and management of Ronchess Global Resources PLC, I wish to express our profound gratitude to the board and management of the Nigerian Exchange Group, NGS, and the Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, for the regulatory approvals given to Ronchess to list on the Nigerian Exchange Limited today, Friday, 17th day of December 2021. Our internal gratitude equally goes to Mainstream Capital Limited, FSDH Capital Limited, TAG Professional Services, Coronation Registrar Limited, and Tokumbo Orimobi LP, and the management of Signatory Advisory Limited, the professional parties for their joint relentless efforts and immeasurable contribution in this last 1 year, working without ceasing to secure the necessary approvals and documentations required for this successful listing of Ronchess Global Resources PLC on the Nigerian Exchange Limited. For more than a decade, spanning a period of 13 years and counting, Ronchess has gone from a road marking and traffic management solution establishment to a full-fledged road and bridges construction firm, and currently strategizing with the advisory arm of KPMG to morph Ronchess into a global infrastructure management group on or before Ronchess' 20th anniversary in 2028. KPMG is developing a 5 to 10 years business plan for Ronchess to aid its transitioning beyond the business of construction, and same will be made available to the investing public upon completion. Having successfully listed on the growth board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited today, with a valuation almost double what is required for the main board of the Nigerian Exchange, and way in excess of the growth board valuation requirements, Ronchess board and management will further be deepening its listing on the Nigerian Exchange by migrating to the main board, subject to all required approvals and resolutions. Once again, I thank you all and congratulations to us all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Quibble, for your wonderful remarks. May I now invite the Managing Director, Signature Advisory Limited, Mr. Samson Davis, to also give his remarks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olumide Bolumole, for your invitation. Today indeed marks Signature Advisory proof of concept of a glorious and prosperous future embedded in the business advisory strategy of going public. This was sold to numerous clients of Signature Advisory, including Ronchess Global Resources PLC, which we're listing today. Tirelessly, we have worked as an institutional service provider along Main Street Capital, FSDH, Coronation Registrar, Tokumbo Orimobi, and TAG Professional Services in the last 1 year. With Ronchess's successful listing of today, we're now more positioned to work alongside Ronchess's board and management in complying with the required obligations that will be required by the Nigerian Exchange Group. In furtherance to this, we'll also be deepening our spread in convincing more clients with regards to listing on the exchanges platform, ranging from the growth board to the main board and the premium board. As said earlier by Mr. Jackson, Ronchess is interested in deepening their listing today by migrating from the growth board onto the main board. And we intend to also deal with them in the course of this exercise. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis, for your wonderful remarks. May I now invite the Managing Director of Main Street Capital Limited, Mr. A.B. Enaholo, to give his remarks.
Thank you very much. The management of the Nigerian Exchange Limited. It is a great pleasure to finally witness this landmark event to commemorate the official introduction of Ronchess Global Resources PLC on the growth board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited. This process brings to bear the long-term commitment of the company to being a leading provider of road construction, road marking, and traffic solutions and other business services to both the private and public sectors in Nigeria. From humble beginnings in just road markings and traffic solutions, Ronchess has expanded its vision into a conglomerate group. Through its New York-based subsidiary, Ronchess has been able to establish its footprints in the real estate development, private equity, and venture capital funding space. The private equity funding focuses on providing funding for small companies with solid business models across oil and gas, consumer and retail dining, healthcare, manufacturing, energy, technology, telecom, biotech, and media and entertainment sectors. With this increasing need for financing, Ronchess is well positioned to bridge a gap to help other small businesses grow within their spheres of influence. We have monitored the company for a while now, and we are quite impressed with its growth so far. This listing of Ronchess Global on the NGX will further deepen and amplify the positive contributions of the company's operations and drive expansions across key sectors in Nigeria and the global market. Most importantly to our local market, it will attract investors and facilitate synergies with relevant stakeholders, which will in turn foster desired growth for the company, its shareholders, the exchange, and Nigeria as a whole. In addition to the listing on the exchange, the exchange will give the company into Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon, etc. And this in turn will make the company a bit more visible in the markets. Once again, we congratulate Ronchess Global Resources PLC and the NGX on this successful event. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Inaholu, for your kind remarks. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite FSTH Capital Limited, represented by Mrs. Nena Ume, to request for the listing of Ronchess Global Resources PLC. Mrs. Ume, over to you, please.
Thank you. The Chairman, Ronchess Global Resources PLC, Captain Niyi Ogunowo. The Chief Executive Officer, Ronchess Global Resources PLC, Mr. Jackson Ukwebo. The Board of Directors, Ronchess Global Resources PLC. The Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Exchange Limited, Mr. Temipupola, CFA, represented by Mr. Olumide Bolumole, Divisional Head Listings Business. The Board of Directors, Nigerian Exchange Limited. The Chief Executive Officer, NGX Regulation, Ms. Tinuade Awe. The Doyen of the Day, fellow stockbrokers, gentlemen of the press, and distinguished guests. FSDH Capital is here to seek NGX approval to list the entire 91 million issued and fully paid up shares of Ronchess Global Resources PLC on the Growth Board of Nigerian Exchange Limited. Ronchess Global Resources PLC commenced operations on the 5th of September 2008. The registered office of Ronchess Global Resources is situated at Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, and the company's registration number is 771515. Ronchess Global Resources PLC renders road marking and traffic solutions, construction and procurement services to the government and relevant agencies in Nigeria. The company has executed various projects for the governments of Lagos State, Delta State, Niger State, Kaduna State, Enugu State, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Ronchess Global Resources PLC has 91 million issued and fully paid ordinary shares at ₦1 each. I confirm that the entire issued and fully paid up ordinary shares of Ronchess Global Resources PLC to be listed have been fully registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission in compliance with the provisions of the Investment and Securities Act, Section 29 of 2007. I also confirm that the shareholders' accounts with the Central Securities Clearing System have been fully credited appropriately with their holdings. Our prayer is that the entire 91 million ordinary shares of Ronchess Global Resources PLC be admitted today, 17th December 2021, to the daily official list of NGX at a price of 81 and be traded on all floors of NGX. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ume, for your request. Having fulfilled all the listing requirements, On behalf of the Board of Directors of Nigerian Exchange Limited, I hereby grant your request to list Ronchess Global Resources PLC as a publicly traded company on the board of the Nigerian Exchange Limited. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me now invite the doyen of the market to make a few remarks. Doyen, you have quite a bit of time, so feel free to give them all the wisdom that you are known for. Doyen, we can't hear you, please. Alaji Yusuf, can you try again? Alaji Yusuf, are you there? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's just give the doyen, I think we have a little bit of time, so let's give him a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Alaji Yusuf, are you there, please? Loretta, would you kindly call him offline?
Okay, sir.
Pending his return, if I can just sort of fill up the time with some suggestions that I suspect the doyen will touch upon. An important part of deriving great value from being a publicly quoted company is really around disclosures. And it's important that that you leverage the opportunity of the exchange and the platform of the exchange in order to interface. I think the doyen is back. Alaji, are you there? Doyen, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. Doyen, I suspect it's your headset. Maybe you can just try the microphone of your device, because I can't hear you, sir. Alaji Yusuf, can you hear me? I think he's frozen again. As I was saying, a great part of deriving value from the exchange is really achieved through constant and consistent interface with your shareholders. And the exchange has a number of different initiatives that we certainly have in mind that we put in place to allow you the opportunity to interact with your shareholders and prospective shareholders. One key point of that is really around our facts behind series. So if the organization is doing a capital raise, or whenever you've had a financial reporting session, we always invite you to come and leverage the platform of the exchange and also engage your investors. And then you can sort of give better clarity on one, your results, and two, your more longer term strategic aspirations of the organization. As you know, the relationship between shareholder and invested company is really a long-term one. And like any strong relationship, it really is oiled with information. So we encourage you to take full advantage of the platform of the exchange to interact with your shareholders. We've also created a suite of institutional services that I think Mr. Davis knows all too well, that I think as Ronchess you have leveraged on to become a listed company. There are other services such as investor relations services, or indeed some of our trainings that we offer as an exchange that will help deepen your knowledge and as an experience as a publicly quoted company. So those are some ideas. Of course, you have an existing relationship manager, and of course, you can engage the exchange if you have further ideas of ways you want to extract additional value from your public quotation. But we at the exchange are certainly here to support you and we're here to give you a platform for which you can thrive and grow your business. Of course, when you have desires for future capital raises, you are more than welcome to engage the exchange as well as your advisors. We will give you guidance based on our experience and our history of supporting companies to raise capital through our platform, and we will give you some thoughts of the best ways to do so in a way that's effective. Before Mr. Akwevo responds, if I may just check if you can hear me, Alhaji Yusuf, and if you can speak, maybe we can hear you. Alhaji, you still can't be heard. I suspect it's your headset. Can you try using the device microphone directly as opposed to your headset? I can't hear you, sir. I can see your lips moving, sir, but I can't hear you. Okay, I think we're having some technical challenges with Alhaji Yusuf. Mr. Jackson Ukwevu, perhaps you can respond to my earlier comments. I think we have about a little under 3 minutes before the market closes. Mr. Jackson, you are muted.
Yeah, I said thank you so much for all of the information, and thank you once again for the opportunity given to Ronchess to be on this great platform. And we are so happy and we're delighted to be among all of these, and we look forward to see how we can also come up with great value, and also to see that we'll make things work out very well for the entire exchange, and also on the people that will be like looking to have interest to be part of Ronchess, and then Ronchess will also be bringing in great value to them as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kwevo. Mr. Davis, do you want to chip in?
I'm more than excited for this development. Once again, I thank the management and board of the exchange and all our professional parties that worked with us together till this very day. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Thank you, Mr. Kwevo. We have a little over a minute before the market closes. So if you can bear with me, I will invite you to close the market at the right time. Alhaji Yusuf, just a final check. Can you hear us and can you speak up? It appears the technical difficulties are ongoing. Well, if I can speak on his behalf, typically the Alhaji would, the Doyen would speak around the need for corporate disclosures and interaction with your stockbroking community, because indeed, whilst the company can have its interactions with shareholders, it's as important to have interactions with intermediaries who also speak to shareholders. It's an opportunity for you also to give them guidance and understanding, a thorough understanding of the organization and your plans and your strategic aspirations as a business, because then as they market your stock to prospective shareholders, they are also singing and speaking in tune with some of the thoughts that you have as an organization. So there's a greater synergy between what you are looking to achieve, and there's a greater understanding on the shareholder and the intermediary side of things. So this is me holding brief on behalf of the Alhaji Yusuf. So if I may ask, Mr. Jackson Ukwevo, can you kindly close the market as we have hit 2:30?
I hereby bring the market to inception. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Ukwevo, for joining a list of distinguished companies that have listed on the floor of the exchange. Distinguished guests, that familiar sound is what you would have heard on the trading floor to signify that trading is closed for the day. I really want to congratulate and thank the CEO of Ronchess Global Resources PLC for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you all for attending, and do please continue to stay safe And Mr. Quavo, please, Mr. Jackson, please extend our warm regards to your entire team. Thank you all.
We'll do that. Thank you also. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. This brings the event to a close.
Yeah.
For everyone to continue to keep safe. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.